Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Right now it's like, it's almost 1 a.m. because we stayed up late so we could film a review of a movie for you guys that we just got back from watching called Crazy Rich Asians. Okay, so like before we start, we just want to say that there will be spoilers. So just a warning to anyone that's watching this video, there are spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers, don't watch the video. Okay.
Click it away.
Okay, so we both liked the movie, obviously. It was a good movie. What would you rate it out of 10?
A 9.5 out of 10. So it was really good, wholesome movie.
I'd say I give it a 9 out of 10 too, just because it was like very, for a rom-com movie, it was very insightful. So yeah, so like the one thing I didn't like about the movie was, I already talked to him about this, but like, I don't know if it was just me, maybe it was just me, but like the main character guy, what's his name?
His name is Nick Young, played by Henry Golding.
Yeah, okay, so obviously this guy is very attractive and good looking. I'm not trying to discriminate based on his looks, like I'm not, but it's just some of his acting was very, I guess it was just me because I'm the only one that called this out, but to me personally, in my opinion, like he just seemed very superficial in his acting. It wasn't very deep. And in some parts where it could have been like very emotional, he chose to be very stagnant and very like boring. Like for example, the scene where he was with his mother, and he his girlfriend recently spilled wine on his shirt, and he was going to change his shirt, and his mom came in, and she was just basically telling him how what he was like, he didn't like his girlfriend. Like she basically said that to him, and he was just like, oh, okay. Like he was like, yeah. Like he didn't seem very bothered by it. And, you know, I don't know. It just didn't seem natural. And like he was very good at acting happy and in love, but everything else was very, in my opinion. What do you think?
Well, I didn't really pick up a lot of Henry's acting, but yeah, it is right. Like she is right. He did really well portraying to be in love and be really happy. But one thing I did notice, like one of the scenes he had a lazy eye or something like that, because you can see slowly moving to the side, and I caught that. But
why are we roasting?
I'm not.
We're roasting
Henry, you're really attractive in the movie. You're great. You know, you're awesome.
Like obviously they picked him for the role for a reason. Like obviously he was probably against a lot of different guys for the part, and he got picked for a reason, I guess. But I just wish in some moments where it could have been very deep and very emotional, he just would have went in that level through his acting, because I am studying acting, if you don't know. So if you guys want to comment like, oh, why don't you just do it? He knows I know that I am studying acting, so it's like important to like reach down to those levels. But then again, I don't really know the process of what he was going through to film that. So.
Well, yeah, I can see that, and I also think that maybe it's just that you have to look at it from like similar to an Asian perspective, because he loves his mother a lot, and the actress, like, yeah, he idolized her, or he really looks up to her. So being raised up in that household, just to like, you know your responsibility, you know that cannot speak English. Your responsibility is to take over the family, and that's all you know throughout your whole life, and never really going out to pursue what you like. You kind of have that stagnant personality, you kind of know what I mean. It's like, oh, okay, my mother says this, I guess I should listen to her, or like, oh, I shouldn't.
But he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he was raised that way, then he would have just done what he was told. but he didn't. Like, obviously he went against that, and he married or wants to marry the girl that he wants. So that just shows me that and technically he wasn't raised by his mother, he was raised by his grandmother.
Yeah.
So he was raised by a woman, or like his mom said that she chose to let his grandmother raise him because she knew that he would be his favorite, and she knew that he would get the fortune and the inheritance because his grandmother would choose. So, like, I could tell, like, the grandmother was very different from the mother because she didn't seem to be someone that would like a woman to sacrifice herself just for her husband. I think that's why she initially liked the girlfriend, because she saw that she wasn't like the mother, She obviously doesn't like the mother. Well, that's what we saw. But, like, obviously it changed, like, when she found out that the girlfriend, what's her name? What's her name in the show? Or in the movie? Rachel.
Yeah.
I think the girl. Rachel, when she saw that Rachel's true past about her mother and her mother cheating on her husband, but she wasn't very, like, I noticed she wasn't very mad about that. She was just mad about the fact that she was going to take Nick from the family.
Yeah.
That's why she was angry. And that's why she was like, no, I forbid you.
Yeah.
That's why she was mad.
It's like, you can have someone that's all powerful, married a common person who has like family issues or like this taboo or something like that.
Yeah. But moving on, so like, another thing that was kind of weird to us about it was the best friend. Like,
yeah.
So like in the beginning, we get that the whole reason that Nick Young and Rachel go to Singapore was for his best friend's wedding. We get that. But his best friend and his wife didn't play much of the story. Like, the only part we saw them was when they first came there, and then they showed them around Singapore, they ate the food. And then after that, it was like, okay, they just disappear. Like, they didn't really make that much of an impact to the story, so I was just like, they were kind of irrelevant. A bit, just a little, so I was like, okay, like. There was actually kind of a lot of irrelevant characters in the show. Like, the best friend, the cousins, and then the cousin's girlfriend, like the actress.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I get that it was for comic relief, but they just showed up way too much in the movie.
And they do a lot of sexual stuff.
Like, we get it was because to make the movie funny. Obviously, the movie was funny, but it just didn't.
It got to a point that kind of got uncomfortable.
It got weird a little bit sometimes,
so
especially with that girlfriend. But yeah.
It's like a really horrible portrayal stereotype of like Asian woman.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she's really submissive and just acts really, really cutesy all the time.
Yeah, I didn't like her. I didn't think she was very relevant to the story at all either, because they already did have comic relief with Aquafina and
Kim Jong.
Yeah, Kim Jong.
Kim.
Yeah,
So,
Kim Jong. He was also comic relief. That whole family was comic relief to the whole show. But that's the end of what we didn't like about the movie. Like, everything else we liked, especially both of our favorite characters was Astrid, because she brought a lot to the story, even though she wasn't a main character. Like, she was a supporting actress in the movie, but like, we really enjoyed watching her as someone that wasn't part of the main, with Rachel and Nick, because her story was very important as well, because she showed a woman that was, obviously rich, obviously powerful, who chose to marry a man that wasn't. And in normal stereotypes, in the normal world, it's the opposite. It's a rich man marries a poor woman, just like the Rachel and Nick, that situation. So it was very nice to see that other side and how that turned. Like, obviously it was sad to me because obviously he ended up cheating on her, and we were all really pissed off about that, because Astrid is like literally like perfect. Like, why would you cheat on her? But his excuse was just so stupid. Like, oh, because you're trying to hide what you're buying from me. Like,
well, she didn't really.
It's because she didn't want him to feel, because she knows how it feels when a woman like buys everything for a man. Like, a woman is, more powerful, more rich than a man. So she didn't want to show that in front of him. That's why she said at the end, like, oh, I turned down charities, I turned down money, I turned down all these work opportunities for him because she knew that she didn't want him to feel that way. But he couldn't understand that.
Like, oh, you don't understand how I feel, or like something like that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, of course I understand you. It's like,
that's why she was doing all that in the first
Yeah.
place. Of course she understands.
and then at the end, she finally decided to leave him. Because originally it was like he was packing the stuff at the end of the movie. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna get other people to come here and get all of my stuff later. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna leave instead. And then he's like, oh, where are you gonna go? There shouldn't be any place for you to go. And she's like, I own 14 different buildings, like apartments.
Right.
I can just go to one of them.
She doesn't need you.
Yeah.
Like don't come at her with that. Like
Yeah.
we all know that she's rich and she
It's
doesn't
like,
need you.
You know the father is a bad father, or like the guy is a bad guy, especially if he decides just to skip his son's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I think his kid's name was like Cashin.
Casper?
Cashin or Cassis or something
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and like she already knew that he was cheating, but she didn't talk to him directly. So in the car scene, she's like, "Oh, what about your son's birthday next week?" He said, "Oh, I'm gonna be busy. There's a trip I need to go to for business."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Well, are you sure?" It's like, even for your own son. It's like, it's his birthday. He's like, "Well, I could just make it up at a different time." And she was like, well, unless it's a different reason. And he's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, I know you're having an affair with another woman. And he's like, oh well, you already know, so what's up, girl?
Yeah. Yeah, like that man was just a mess. Like I don't know how he got her, but I don't know, but whatever. Yeah, so we were happy that was over because obviously he did deserve her. So we were just like, whatever. We were like, okay. And then the next big thing that we really liked was towards the end when Rachel finally stood up to the mother. And that was like through a game of Mahjong. Mahjong. And this scene is very important because, you know, Mahjong is like a traditional Chinese game, right? I never played it before.
It's gambling.
It's like gambling.
Yeah, it's often a gambling game.
And I absolutely loved how they brought this back because in the beginning we saw that Rachel is economics professor, specifically in game theory. And she knows exactly how people work, the psychology, what people want. And she used that to her advantage to kind of show the mother that it's not really about where you come from, who your family is, how rich you are. It's about how you grew up and what you know and how you can teach your future children, your future generations how to become better people. And it was like really, really, really like, empowering, like powerful when she like just showed all the Mahjong and she was like, I won, like she beat everybody. It was just so cool.
Because like the mother flipped the Mahjong and she's like,
oh,
oh, I won. Yeah.
And then Rachel flipped it and we saw that she had like all of these matching. I was like,
yeah, she had better matches and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
because that's what she's good at. Like, she knows that stuff, you know? And it was so cool how she said in the beginning, like, before she played the game, she was like, my mother taught me this, you know? Like, she taught me how this teaches us to be...
Yeah, strategy, like, basically teaches about yourself, how strategy about life and all that stuff, because it makes sense. And then the mother, or, like, Nick Young's mother, was like, oh yeah, my mother taught me this too. And... yeah, so she started playing and talking about what you said earlier, and also at the part where it's like, oh yeah, Nick proposed to me, but I rejected him, so no worries. And then the mother like got scared right when she said that Nick proposed, but was relieved
when she said that she rejected.
She rejected, but then I love when Constant or Rachel Chu says like, well, just remember that once Nick finds a girl that's worthy of you or something like that,
he's gonna resent you.
It's like he's either gonna resent you or something like that. And he's like, and I want you to remember that in the future when he's not happy or with all of this happens and you like it, remember,
you will remember me.
Yeah, just like remember me. I was the one.
Because of me. And she like brought up her whole family, her whole story, how she was raised by a single mother, poor, you know, not wealthy, not privileged, and you
Yeah.
know, it's just powering when she's like, you will remember me, a poor, you know, like, that was like, oh,
A commoner.
that was a very, very good line. Like, out of the whole show, I think that was my favorite line that came out of her mouth. But yeah, so, and then towards the end, like, we see that Rachel and Nick get back together because honestly, like, we're taught to think that the mother is the villain throughout the whole show, or why do I keep saying show? Throughout the whole movie. But she's not. Like, she understands what it's like to sacrifice. She knows what it's like to have to give up everything you love for someone else, for your family, for your husband, whatever,
Yeah.
you know?
Because the mother was a commoner too. And she said that the husband, like, she wasn't the husband's first nor second choice, like,
Yeah.
much later. And then when she finally married, it took a really, really long time for the grandmother to even like her or like
To accept her.
to accept her,
Yeah.
because she had to work really hard and sacrifice a lot of stuff. And she knows that Rachel is a commoner, but the only thing I think that she kind of looks down on Rachel is that she's not Chinese enough or like Asian enough.
I don't think it's only that.
'Cause
I don't think it's just because she's not. Because you're right. Like, she does say that you're American. You don't understand what it's like.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think she's jealous of her. I think she's jealous because she sees a girl that was just like her when she was younger. But she didn't sacrifice everything. Like, she got her degree.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, our camera stopped recording. So, like, we're going to try to remember where we, like, stopped off. And just try to keep going from there. So, basically, I was saying that the mother was jealous of Rachel because she sees Rachel as as a girl that was like her when she was younger. You know, we all know that, like, in the show, the mother said that she went to Cambridge, like, she was majoring in law, like, she was going to be a lawyer, but she gave up all of that for her husband. And she sees that Rachel obviously didn't do that. Like, she got her degree, you know, she's a college professor now. Like, she's smart, she's brilliant, she's everything, you know? And the mother sees that, and she was just jealous of that because she wanted that, you know? She wished she had that. But at the same time, it's a mistake to see the mother as a weak person because she's not. And we see that she's a villain, like, she's the villain, but at the same time, we sympathize with her. Like, we understand her.
Villain.
She's a good villain because we can understand her. We know where she's coming from. You know, that's always a very good key for a good villain. But like I said before, it's a mistake to think that she's weak because she's not. She's a strong woman that sacrificed for her family, and it takes a lot to sacrifice for someone. That doesn't make you weak. And like I said before our camera stopped working, I said that a strong woman recognizes a strong woman. That's why she chose to give up her ring and give up her stubbornness for Rachel because she saw that.
After the mahjong game.
Yeah, after the mahjong game, she was like.
Yeah, because I think at one point she says that it was a privilege to find a husband like this, or to have the ability just to drop out of college or to stop whatever you wanted to do and know that you're going to be fed for life and you can get whatever you want.
Right.
Just like,
but that was a long time ago. Like,
Yeah.
things have changed. Doesn't seem like much of a privilege now. It just seems like
it's not.
okay.
One really important thing from the movie is that Rachel is Asian American who went to Singapore or Asia, and she has to learn what it's like to live among like a different culture, almost like a different culture, and she was able to learn something a little bit from the mother, and most importantly, the mother was able to learn a lot of stuff from Rachel. It's like, yeah, she's traditional, she follows all of this rules and regulations that's set by the family to keep the family going and stuff like that. But at the end, she learns that what's the point if you can't really be happy? Like, yes, family is important. Yes, you have to do your job in the family, but at the same time, you also need to find something that's worth your happiness.
Yeah,
And
like, that's important.
That is important.
Like, it's good to have those differing ideals in between generations, old generation, new generation. It's something that we're all dealing with, you know, with our young, you know, we're young and we have to deal with our parents, or our parents have to deal with their parents, you know. It's like, it's just good to have that in a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
Oh yeah, continue.
Okay, and then what we also talked about was Amanda, like, the
oh yeah,
real
she's a true villain.
The
The mother's
real
not even
villain.
really a villain.
No, it's not the mother. It's Amanda, because we all know where she comes from. Like, she's just jealous of Rachel. Like, she wanted to be Rachel. She wanted to marry Nick, and get all this money, and she's a real gold digger. Okay, so like, hopefully she gets what she deserves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you know, the movie ends, and then the credits come, and then like a scene after the credits with Astrid comes up again. And we see Astrid, and she's like at the bar alone, and she's like chilling. And then like another guy comes, and like he's like good looking, and then he like starts looking at Astrid, and Astrid starts looking at him, and they're giving each other eyes, and then it just ends, and we're just like, what? Because if you guys don't know, Crazy Rich Asians is a book series that like I think is a book of 3, and basically in the next series, I think Astrid goes off with this guy. His name is Christian Yu, and he's apparently even more rich than Nick and his whole family. So I just want to see like that. I hope that comes out soon, because I'm ready for that. I'm ready for more.
Yes.
Okay, so after we discussed everything, would you go see it again?
Oh yeah, I definitely would go see it again. It's like good movie, good plot, good storyline. See it again, might be able to pick out or observe the smaller details I didn't see in the first place. One thing I really didn't like was like the choice of music that they used, especially in the background. It's like, okay.
Is it old music?
Yeah, it's like really old music. It kind of fits with some of the vibes, but there's so many better choices. Like there's some really modern scene, modern city and stuff, and it puts something really antique in the background. It's like if you understand the lyrics and the style of the music, it just doesn't fit, you know.
Okay. Well.